Okay, so I'm trying to establish that these two witnesses are not two individuals, and I'm just walking you through this step by step. Now, have some patience and understand that everything that I have stated is going to be revealed during this video series, but we just have to move into this calmly and correctly. Now, we understand that it's not the fire coming out their mouths, and that's going to further identify, or we're hoping to further identify, that these are not two individuals at all. So we're going to establish this by the verse in chapter 11, verse 6. And I'm going to go ahead and read that now. These have power to shut heaven, that it rain not in the days of their prophecy, and have power over waters to turn them to blood, and to smite the earth with all plagues as often as they will. Now, as I say right here, it says this is implying they have power over the whole earth. So these two individuals had power over the whole earth? No, they didn't. Okay? Now, you have to understand something. I've already talked about this in the series War of the Worlds. And I think starting in video number 3, 4, and 5 is where I talk about the two witnesses. Now, if you remember correctly, I told you that this verse 6, which is talking about the weather control and the weather phenomenon, was directly related to what people are calling the chemtrail phenomenon, relating it to the HARP, the weather manipulation, okay? And of which you will see later in this video that the nations of the world, which is very, very key, my friends, this word nation, and you're going to see, and it's going to blow you away, that the nations of the world have conspired together to manipulate the weather of the world. And believe it or not, it's under the guise of peace. They're doing this under the guise of peace. So all of this will make sense further. So in that video, I told you that it's not actually the two good witnesses that are causing this manipulation in this instance in Scripture over the whole earth. I told you that it was the negative instance, and I told you that prophecy fulfills itself in two ways. Now remember, this is where I'm getting back to, I told you that the Scripture reads like this: and I will give power unto my two witnesses, and they shall prophesy 1,260 days, clothed in sackcloth. These are the two olive trees and the two candlesticks. Now remember, each witness is given, the one witness that represents an olive tree is represented by not one olive tree, two olive trees. The other witness is not represented by one candlestick, but by two candlesticks. Very important. This is going to be the proof and the hinge of understanding, which will open the door of reason to everything that I've told you so far. If you can understand now that there are two fulfillments of prophecy, both spiritual and physical, you can understand how this system of Bible prophecy works. And that's the whole point. So in this verse, where they're controlling the weather, in this instance, it's implying that they have power over the whole earth. Well, that's not correct, because two individuals, if you're thinking that it's two individuals, could not have omnipresence. Even Jesus Christ limited his presence. Now let's look at this. No, it's not individual people, meaning the two witnesses. Remember, even Christ limited his presence to only where he was at any given moment. Only God is omnipresent by choice. Many places only heard of Christ due to the ministry of the church and the apostles, who were the witnesses spreading the good news of Jesus around the globe. So we must be talking something more than two people. Instead, it's more like an organization. Now, friends, you're beginning to understand. And if you're not, you will in the next video. I'll be back.